Hey everyone, I'm meteorologist Valerie Mills. We are finally watching Debbie move out of the northeast. All of those lingering rain bands that have been tracking up the Atlantic coast finally starting to clear out. And really what we will remember from Debbie is the incredible rain this storm has been able to produce. These are some of our top rain reports. Florida and South Carolina, those were the two states that really got the most impactful rain and flooding. But Georgia, North Carolina, they still got rain totals over a foot in a lot of spots. But Lake City, nearly 20 inches of rain over the last couple of days. Parrish, Lakewood Ranch, 18.5 inches for those spots as well. Then we look to South Carolina, Somerville, 18.25 inches. Really just some incredible rain totals as you think about that being several days after the storm made landfall in Florida's Big Bend. Sarasota set an all-time record rain with a little over 11 inches of rain falling in just one day. So now days later, we're still cleaning up here around the Sunshine State. We still have really swelled up rivers and creeks, so we haven't really seen those water levels go down just yet. But here's what's left of Debbie. After tracking up the Atlantic coast, causing some problems for the Northeast, most of the remnants now pulling off into the Atlantic. So finally, things quiet with that storm, but already we're looking out to the Atlantic for another tropical wave, and this one has gained quite a bit of development odds over the last couple of days. We're up to 80% that this develops in the next week, 30% chance in the next 2 days. So this is being deemed Invest 98L. And really, you can see the disorganized thunderstorm activity around that area of interest, and somewhere in this kind of red blob here, that's where we expect it to develop. So likely over the next couple of days, as it gets a little bit closer to the greater Antilles, I think that's when we have our best chance for this to become our potentially next named storm. Now, this is paused here Tuesday afternoon. That's as it starts to approach these areas where you can see still relatively disorganized, but trying to get its act together as it moves over very warm waters. There won't be too much wind shear for that to battle, and all of that Saharan air and all of that Saharan dust still continues to blanket parts of the Atlantic, but it's going to kind of able to skirt around all of that drier air. So then the question is, by early next week, if this is able to form, we'll start to watch very closely the potential track of this around this ridge of high pressure. We do know that there's going to be some sort of little trough that dips in to the northeast. So the question is, will it pull this tropical wave up to the north where it kind of skirts off the east coast of the country, or will it be getting a little bit closer to home? At this point, the Caribbean islands, Bermuda, should be watching this very closely. We still have a couple of days to continue to watch this, but a lot of things working in its favor where conditions are favorable for additional strengthening as we look ahead to next week. It's important to remember we have 90% of the hurricane season still ahead of us, so we don't hit the peak of the Atlantic season until September 10th. So make sure you have all your preparations in place. Tropical Storm Debbie, a good reminder that it only takes a tropical storm or a Category 1 hurricane to cause a lot of problems for a lot of states. We'll continue to watch that wave and bring you updates right here on My Fox Hurricane.